set up real quick and we'll get started in just a second. All right, let me get the chat going, get our Instagram going. All right, fantastic. Let me make sure just a few other things. There we go. Oops. No. Let's see. I'm gonna get started in just 1 second, y'all. Yeah, got a pencil, paper in hand. Love it. Yeah. It's like we are ready to go. We are ready to learn. It is happening. Oh my gosh, you guys are such a trip. I love it. All right. So, okay. Fantastic. Here we go. Okay, I've got the chat open. Instagram people, hi. So yeah, I'm like kind of dual living at the moment. Yeah. All right. And for those of you on our Instagram that don't know, we have an amazing meetup group. Be sure to check out our link in bio if you want to do more of these with us. I'm live every first Monday of the month, which is today. So here we are. For those of you that don't know me, I'm Sarah. I am the director here at the Atlanta School of Photography. And yeah, I have some lighting set up behind me because last week, we were at the Boca Photo Summit in Buckhead. So it's a 3-day event, lots of like workshops and photography opportunities. And one of the things that they had was these different studio bays where you could take pictures. So a lot of them were with these like gorgeous, absolutely all of them are with gorgeous models. They also had lighting set up similar to this one. So what I wanted to take the opportunity to do was to break down this lighting setup and show y'all kind of like how the background of the pictures were made. Because a lot of times with these setups, they'll sort of like have everything ready for you. They'll have the model, they'll have the backdrop, they'll have the light. They even put plaques next to the lights to like tell you what settings to use. So if you're still at that stage, come hang out with us. We would love to tell you why settings are settings and why you do them. And if you change them, what happens and how to get your best pictures that you possibly can. So yeah, okay. Let me go ahead. I'm going to switch over. I'm going to show y'all first one of the photos that I really enjoy. Like this is kind of the vibe. This is the setup that they had. It was absolutely gorgeous. I'm not going to be doing any kind of poses like this. It's like that's not what I'm here for. So some of my extremely wonderful, beautiful models, if you're watching out there, hi. That is your job. That is not my job. So, but the lighting is my job. So with the light that comes like this, that's what I'm going to be able to show you. Some other really gorgeous setups that kind of like getting this effect of like this dramatic lighting in the front and all of that. Yes, absolutely gorgeous. So a lot of them were the simple one light setup that they had. The light that they had is quite brighter than the one that I am working with, but that's okay. We're in a little bit of a smaller space, so it shouldn't be too big of a deal, but all of the techniques will carry over per se. So I'm going to also be able to have this guy. So, okay, fantastic. Let me go ahead and show y'all what I currently have. And of course, if you are, if you have questions, please, feel free to ask away. I'm going to keep that chat box wherever it went to. I'm going to keep an eye on that guy. And same here, hopefully in the Instagram as well. And yeah, okay, here we go. So let me see, swap over there. Okay, so, oh man, so while I've got this, let me see if I can, trying to figure out the best way I can see the Zoom chat and y'all can actually see my screen. There we go. Fantastic. Okay, we are good. We are ready to roll. Let me check one more thing before we get started. I just want to make sure, because sometimes what Meetup has done is like lock people out, which I don't know if that's ever happened to you. I am so sorry. I don't know why it does that. It's like at a certain time, sometimes it'll be like, hey, I can't get in. It's like, oh, Meetup, what are you doing? I want people to join. So, okay, looks like we're good there. Fantastic. Just wanted to double check that we've got everybody involved. Okay, perfect. There we go. Yes. All right. So a couple of different things. Like I said, I've got this awesome lighting setup. Oh, the Zoom link from the calendar invite was not working. Just the Meetup one does. Oh, interesting. Huh. Okay. It's like, I feel like it should be the same. Thank you. I appreciate that. So I'm going to get that checked out and make sure if anything's like wrong in there. I don't know why it would be. Anyways, problem for another time. So, okay. So if you're hanging out with me on the Meetup group, you can see the settings here and everything. If you're on Instagram, I'm still going to be like kind of showing parts of my camera. So you can see what I've got going on, but yeah, so giving y'all a little bit of, there we go. Hello, hi, there I am too, yay. I move this guy over. Hello, come with me, come along on the journey, yes. All right, so this is that kind of typical lighting setup, right? Where we've got this one singular light here. Very, very simple. And it's a, man, it's really just a video light. It's a constant video light off Amazon. There's better ones out there, I am sure. I know that there are, but we are on a budget here at ASOP. So yeah. So this is the lighting setup. The way that we have it, I'll show you over here, boom. Fantastic. Is this. It's just a really simple one light. I've got it also a little bit turned towards the warmer side of the white balance, which I've also had to affect on my camera. For that, I have my camera's white balance set to, actually for these types of lights, believe it or not, fluorescent. Yeah, but fluorescent day balanced. Yeah, I know. So with these LED lights, a lot of these new constant LED lights are actually daylight balanced. But if you're able to switch over the white balance and you're able to switch on the light itself to make it warmer or cooler, I'll show you what that looks like in real time. This is much cooler. And that's about as warm as it gets. I'm going to have it not all the way to the warmest, just under that, just a smidge. So, oh yeah, Lori, absolutely. I will send out a list with links to the equipment to the group afterwards. Can do, absolutely. Yeah, so I'm going to take this light down and I'm going to show you what it's like. But just to give y'all an idea of what the kind of the distance of it is from about here with my hand, and given I'm 5'9", I think I'm shrinking. It's a curse in the family. I do think so, maybe 5'8", give or take. So about here with my hand. And then I take one step back. That's about the distance that I want my subject to be from the light, right? So it's like if you're here with your hand and then you take a step back, as long as you're not like an extremely tall or extremely short person on either side, that's going to be a pretty standard distance away. Now, of course, if you have a larger light and you have a larger space, fantastic, great, good for you, and you can move stuff around. But I found that most folks, especially just starting out, have about this much room, have about that like 10 foot by 10 foot by 10 foot area, maybe less. So this is my goings on for that amount of space. So, okay, brace yourselves because I'm turning on the big light. All right, whoo, hello, hi. Let me get this situated so I can show you what is actually inside the light itself. Let's turn this off for safety. Also, so I don't burn myself. I'm gonna take it off of this stand and show y'all. Oh, ta-da! So this is it. This is our go-to for, oh, I gotta focus. Hello, hi, 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 focus. There we go. Okay, so this is our light. It is this basic. It really is. It's just this is a GVM, great video maker light. Really simple in the back end. Switch to turn on and off, brightness up or down, and then that white balance that I was telling you about. Very simple, very straightforward. This isn't really where the magic is in the light itself. It's this guy, this beautiful thing. So this is our softbox. So if you haven't seen a softbox before, this is what one looks like. I believe this is like a 24-inch, 30-inch softbox, kind of more on the medium side. So if you're looking for like different sizes, why would you get a small one? Well, if you got a smaller one, it would probably be more for like a product photography setup where you have about this much room. This one is designed more for headshots, so about like this much space. And then if you wanted to do like full body, it's going to be much massiver, much more massive. And you get a large softbox, which would be something like this monstrosity over here. Hello. This one doesn't even really fit in this space. Kind of does. It's like the size of the room, basically. This is the large one. This is the large one. And it comes with like different modifiers and stuff like that. But that'll do a full body, hands down, no problem whatsoever. This is probably more of that like medium to large. And I'm going to show y'all what this looks like too. Hopefully, if we get a chance. And I'll go over each one of these. This is like the large softbox, medium large-ish size. So just depending on how much you need it to cover is going to depend on your size. Now, what is making that light the way that it is? And by that, I mean, how does it look that way versus this? This is just regular old boring fluorescent light, nothing too terribly exciting. This is the light that I avoid like the plague if I am ever doing photography, if I'm doing headshots, products, whatever. If I can avoid fluorescent light, please avoid fluorescent light in any possible way that you can. Instead, you can bring one of these. And what's really nice also is that it's constant light. So you're not having to think about what the meter is going to be. You're not having to worry about like a flash where the light hasn't happened yet. We do have classes in Flash, if you want to learn more about Flash. A little bit more portable compared to this guy, but this is a great thing to start out with to understand light and how to bend and shape light. So a couple of the pieces in here that are doing that lighting that we like and how diffused it is. This is called a grid, sometimes also referred to as a honeycomb. It's a honeycomb grid on there. This is one part of the diffusion. This is helping to take that light, actually darken it down a little bit more, just by like a smidge, but also direct it a little bit more specifically at the person. So yeah, is it supposed to show more direct light to the model object? Yeah, exactly. So this is going to direct it even more specifically towards the subject. Then underneath, we have a diffuser. And this is all with Velcro. If you couldn't tell by the noise, it's Velcro, yeah. Then we've got just a regular old diffuser. This one is probably the most standard. So now that I've taken this off, it's probably going to brighten it up a little bit more. And I'm going to put this back on and show you what each step looks like, from total bare light to put this one with the grid and softbox and all that, and what the different photos look like individually. So this is just your regular old diffuser. Very simple. This is going to come with every softbox that you get. It might not come with the grid. So keep that in mind. If you are looking for a grid, you're looking for that more dynamic direct light, make sure that the grid is included or that you purchase one that fits your size of softbox. And then without this, there's another one. Look at that. Even one more in there. They just keep coming. The hits keep coming. So here is another diffuser. inside of this one. Again, this is not standard. Generally, sometimes depending on the soft boxes that you get, this is the only one that will actually go with it. This is an additional piece that some will offer. And I do like it because, again, it's just diffusing that light even further. So I'll show you again what it looks like with and without each of them. And then finally, last piece, again, just with Velcro. Here we go. Is the light itself. So that is the actual LED bulb in there, completely bare. And then all the soft boxes will have this reflective surface inside of it to have it point, like to have the light bounce around to essentially hopefully create more light and have it illuminate the space a little bit more. So fantastic. I'm going to rig this back up. I'm going to put this back on my C stand, which is similar to the ones that you see here. This is a C stand. It's just being used as a backdrop holder right now. I've got another one over here. I'll show you how to be able to set that up, break it down. That's a C stand. This is a light stand. So this is just a regular old light stand. C stands are used more for video, filmmaking, that type of thing. So they're a little bit more heavy duty, and they're also much easier to put sandbags on, which for safety, yes, sandbags. We love a good sandbag. So just be wary when you're using different stands for these types of heavier lights. C stand is going to be great if you're attaching a whole bunch of stuff to it. If it's just hanging out by itself, a regular old light stand is going to be perfect. So, all right, going to put this thing back on and show you what it looks like with and without as we add on more of those modifiers. And if I hadn't mentioned before, it's modifiers. That's what they're called. Each little piece that we tack on is another modifier. All right, so turning this off, bring this back. All right, this is bare light. This is very bright. This is extremely bright. So I'm going to change up my settings a little bit in the camera here. I'm also going to switch up my focus as well. Take this off. There we go. That's what we want. That is much better. Brilliant. Okay. So right now, the other thing here is like I'm at an f8, f2.8 on my camera. That's not my favorite. So I'm going to, you know what? Hey, there we go. Boom. Hold on. Sorry. I know Instagram people feels like we're going for a ride. There we go. Hey. So you guys can see what we're working with as well. Brilliant. Oh, technology. When it works, if it wants to. There we go. Ooh, okay. Now it does. All right. So I'm going to bring up my aperture a little bit to help with that. You can see how it's cutting down the amount of light that's entering into the camera. So right now that's at like a 6.3. That's where I'm at. I'm at a 6.3. And then I've also got a shutter speed of 1/100th of a second and an ISO of 800. So especially for studio work, I really like to keep my aperture at least a 5.6 at the very least. But in terms of those settings, want to know more about those? Come hang out with us in the Photo 1 and Photo 2 classes. Yay. So, but for right now, talking about lighting, this is super, super direct lighting. This is what we referred to as direct lighting, meaning that from the light source to your subject, there is nothing in between. There's nothing cutting it off. It is a direct hit from light to subject. What it's going to do is it's going to create really heavy shadows. So you can see it's like I've already got shadows like underneath my eyes, on my jaw, underneath my chin. So if you are going for like a really dramatic look, sometimes more along the lines of like editorial, fashion, some product photography I've seen taken with some like really beautiful direct lighting as well. This would be a great option for that. That could definitely be an option. For portraiture, typical headshots, food photography sometimes, maybe. It really kind of depends. But what the important thing is to know is like what kind of light this is and how to define it. So this is direct light. This is the same thing would be if you have the sun and it is just light that's from the sun. That's it. And no clouds, no nothing. Now, we're going to add another piece of diffusion. But before I do that, I need to find my water. I need to stay hydrated. There we go. Okay. So adding the next layer of diffusion on that smaller diffuser on the inside of the bigger diffuser. What does that look like? All right. So twofold. One, helps to diffuse it just a little bit more, just a smidge, not by a whole lot, but just enough where we start to get, and I'm going to even bring this guy in a little bit too. You guys don't need to see all of me. How does that? There we go. Scoot it up a little bit, maybe. There we go. There we go. Much better. So you can see we're still getting some pretty like harsh shadows, but not as harsh as without the diffuser or as the direct light. This is just adding that first layer of diffusion. So again, it'd be a really good option if you want to have a happy medium in between direct and diffused. If you want to have kind of best of both worlds, this is some of my favorite like drama lighting per se. I like it. It feels more cinematic now that I'm looking at it. This is very, very cinematic lighting. And again, this is all still with just a single light. This is still with just one. I know it's like, Jennifer, right? It's like, especially with the yellow tinge to it. And I love this green canvas backdrop. I'm vibing with it. Actually really like it. Now I want to do pictures with this. Okay, well, we'll come back. So, I'm gonna go ahead now that next layer of diffusion, the big white diffuser that is that comes with all soft boxes. Oh, Angie, yes, correct. So the lighting is not direct when it's diffused. Those are our two different types. We have direct lighting and we have diffused lighting. So this is much more diffused. We don't have as much of those harsh shadows anymore. The shadows kind of blend into each other. It's like I'm still getting some harsh shadows under my chin, but I'm not too worried about that. But you can see we've lost a lot of exposure. But before I even get into that, to address Angie's, yes, we have direct lighting and we have diffused lighting. Those are the two different kinds of light. Now you can also have combo, direct and diffused. And I've got a second light over here where we're going to punch that one in and show you what that looks like too. But for right now, this is just diffused lighting. Love it. I love questions. So for this one, because we're in studio, yeah, I could bring it to a 5.6 to let it a little bit more, but I'm going to bring up my ISO a little less. So what I'm actually looking for here is to make sure that I'm not losing any detail in my face, right? Because that's the important, if this were like a headshot, that's the important part is the face. Yeah, it's like, so want to make sure that we are keeping all detail here. I don't care about the background. Don't really care about my clothes because we're not doing a fashion shoot. So people always ask, it's like, well, what do I expose for? Always expose for whatever is the purpose of the subject, right? Because that's what matters the most. So if you're doing a headshot, care less about the background, unless the background is really important somehow, then you can try to get an equal exposure, but it's more there as like an accent, right? This is going to change the mood depending on if it's this like nice canvasy green, or we have like over here, this would obviously be a much different exposure and overall much different look of the photo if we use like a bright purple backdrop. For this kind of like really dramatic light would be weird. So there might be a totally different lighting setup that I would do with a bright purple backdrop versus this moody green backdrop. So I like to think about that as well. And that kind of gets into more of like visual literacy and stylization and what types of light match with what it is that you're actually going for. So like this kind of moody backdrop and the yellow haze of the light, it's kind of more like this is more like a Western style. Like I want to take like pictures of like a cowboy in this or something like that. Yeah. So this exposure that I set it to with that ISO just a little bit higher, the aperture opening up just a little bit more, we needed to let that more light in because we cut down the amount of light that was coming through by just adding diffusion layers on top of it. It's the same thing as like with like how we've had it in Atlanta last couple of days, which has actually been kind of nice, but it's been very, very hazy in a lot of clouds, extreme overcast. It's obviously going to be darker. You've probably noticed you've had to like turn lights on in your house around the, I know that we do in ours. It's like an old ranch home from the 1940s in Decatur. And so we're going around the house because like it's much darker outside. So we're not getting that bright direct sunlight like we had here with no diffuser, super bright. It's diffused now. We're cutting out the light from the sun and we're having to add more light in. We're having to like compensate and add our artificial lights by turning lights on around the house. Same thing in your camera, same thing with our eyeballs, same thing across the board. So the way that I did that here is try to find a little bit of a compromise. I don't want to change my shutter speed because that's a really great one for headshots because it's going to make sure that my subject isn't blurry. So by like motion or anything like that, right? So just for cutting some light out, we've got to figure it out in the camera to help to compensate a little bit more. So yeah, gonna check to make sure. Oh, why would you not increase shutter rather than ISO? Yeah, I love it. So yes, the larger ISO is going to show more noise. Yeah, it's not my favorite thing. However, I'm shooting with a Sony A7 III. It's a little bit of an older model, but gosh, it's like a workhorse. It's lasted so long. And so this one I entirely trust to go up to about ISO 4000 before I really start to see it and have to start to overcompensate in my editing and taking out the noise where it looks kind of like an impressionist picture, like a watercolor. So I highly recommend almost doing a similar test like this in your home and just bringing that ISO up, set it to P, set it to program mode, and just bring that ISO up little bit by little bit. Take the pictures take them from your camera and put them on your computer so you can really see that grain and that noise that's showing up as that ISO increases. So then you know, ooh, beyond 1600 doesn't look great. Or, oh, hey, I can go all the way up to like 5000 and it still actually looks okay. So I know particularly with this camera, even at, what do I have it right now? 1250? Yeah, so even at 1250, it's still gonna be just fine. I'm not worried about it too much. I would rather have a aperture at 5.6 where I've got a little bit more depth of field here in case my subject is doing like I am and being very animated and moving around. So they're able to stay within that relatively shallower depth of field, but not super shallow, versus open it up to like a 2.8, which let's do it, let's try. 2.8. Probably gonna be really bright on my face. Yes, that is too bright. That is way too bright. Wow, okay. That would allow me to bring the ISO down a couple notches. Much better. But here's the thing. If I go this far, or if I go this far, I'm probably out of focus. So if I lean back or lean forward in just the littlest bit, I'm now shifting out of focus. And I get so nervous sometimes. So keeping it at around 5.6 for those studio portraits I would rather have that and a little bit of grain. 5.6, go back up to 1250. I would rather have the safety and knowledge that I've got a little bit of wiggle room if my subject starts to move a little bit, and a little bit of noise on there, a little bit more noise on there, than worry about, oh my gosh, is my subject moving too far this way, that way, that way. So, but yeah, excellent question. Absolutely. Keep asking questions, guys. I'm a teacher. I love questions. Okay, so last one. Comb, honeycomb, grid. I'm gonna put this baby on, kind of get an idea for what this looks like right now. I sat in it for a while, I hope we remember, and how it's different when I put the honeycomb grid on. Some people just call it a grid. I like the word honeycomb. I feel like that's, I don't know. I feel like thinking bees made it is pretty cool. Look how much darker. That cut down the exposure by like 50%. But also you see a little bit of that definition starting to come back. It's not as like bright and airy diffusion around. It's kind of like we had with just the single diffusion on there, but even more pointed. The thing is like we're not, it's the light isn't able to travel as far now either. It's kept very close. So it's not hitting the background nearly as much. And here's the thing, I'm gonna take it down just for a second to show you, and then I'll put it back up. So without, right? Look how much of this room we have in the background, but this on me, kind of matching where the background is at. I really like these grids because of how it sort of shortens the throw of the light so it doesn't hit the background. So I am now more pushed further away from that background. Yeah. It's like, I want to see, yeah. These are solutions to edit out ISO noise to make the photos more sharper. Yes. Yeah, it's like Lightroom, Aperty, Luminar, Photoshop, all of those, Capture One, they all have really great denoise softwares. And even there is one made by, they make Gigapixel AI. I'll have to remember exactly what the company's name is, but they're fan-freaking-tastic. They've been doing denoise, I think it's just called denoise, for a while, and I absolutely adore that software, especially because you can also just buy it outright. You don't have to get like a monthly or yearly subscription or whatever. You can just buy it. I'll add that to the link in the follow-up for sure. I will find it, I promise. But yeah, so now you get a better idea. Oh yeah, do you prefer using the honeycomb for in-studio portraits? Yes. Yeah. Like, especially more kind of drama ones like this. Like this looks so cool, where it is very much like cutting out that light from the background. If it was still hitting the background, you can do something as simple as scoot your person up further. Oh, good, I'm still kind of in focus. And maybe move the light back a little bit. So if you feel like, oh, now we have too much light on our person, maybe kind of like figure it out. It's ratios with these lights is everything, guys. It really is, of like how far away is your subject from the background, from the light. So those three things interacting all at the same time are going to make or break the picture at the end of the day. So yes, we have our diffusers, but I'll talk about that ratio definition in a little bit too, but want to catch up on some questions. Can the same light customizers be used with continuous and flashlight sources? Yes, absolutely, they can. Fantastic question. So I could literally take this whole box and stick it onto a, oh, let me see if I have it. Hold on. Oh, I might have left it in my car. I have it. You guys, something was where I found it, where I left it. It's a freaking miracle, y'all. Okay, so this thing, this is this is called a Bowen's mount, by the way, with this 3-prong, 1, 2, 3 prong in here. Same thing as any of the other modifiers, same on that guy, and same with this one that was on my other light. This is a Bowen's mount with those 3-point connectors. It's the most universal mount for any camera. For any lighting accessory. This one would fit a flash. So if you're using, let me grab one, it's in here. Would a second thing be in here? That would be so cool, you guys. Look at that. Yes. And I find things. Okay, so your flash, your flash, I know what things are. I've only been doing this 20 years. Flash goes in there and clamp it down. And then there's your Bowen's mount. So then you put this attachment, you take it off that light or whatever, and you put it in here. And now it is on your flash. So yeah, so those Bowen's mounts that are going to be the ones that are, like I said, the most universal of any. For whatever reason, a couple different companies did it differently. I know Alien Bees is a little weird. But I'm hoping everyone just kind of like, same thing with like a USB-C. I'm like, everything should just be a USB-C. Stop making so many different plugs. It's exhausting. Just one thing. Love that. Yeah. All righty, just checking in. We're doing good. We're doing good. Yay. Okay. Talking a little bit about those ratios, right? This is going to be, I'm going to take the honeycomb off for this just to show you, like, it'll be easier to see. Now I told y'all if y'all joined a little bit later, again, this is kind of like my formula for distancing from things. So it's like you have your arm out to the light, step back, that's where my person is. And then you have an arm out to the back, maybe I'd be a little bit further away, but about an arm away from the backdrop. So an arm to the backdrop, 2 arms to the light, and then it's going to be at about like this kind of like 45-degree angle, right? So it's kind of like it's up, but 45 degrees angled down. So yeah, and then about at, I'd say that's a 1:30, 2 o'clock. Yeah, 1:30. But that's also just this room. It is very difficult to move things. I don't have a lot of space in this room. If I did, I might even put it over closer to 2 o'clock than closer to 1 o'clock. So that's how this lighting is set up. So if like person's here, 1 arm, 2 arms, 1:30, 2 o'clock-ish. That's a very standard one light setup. Now, if you wanted it more dramatic, if you wanted it more diffused, if you wanted harsher shadows or less shadows, here's what you do. Because I know sometimes a lot of people will be like, well, if I move the camera and I move the blah, blah, blah. It's like, no, super, super simple. Just move the light. And if you can't move the light, then move your subject. But ideally, we're just moving the light. So if I move the light closer, I'm gonna grab this, bring it right up. Notice how much more, not only brighter, but direct it got. It's like, you can see as I like kind of hover closer, how much more this changes. Aha, yeah, that's a really great one right there. Okay, so it's like further away, pretty diffused. Just by getting physically closer to the light or having the light get closer to your subject is going to add that definition. That's it. That's it. No settings changes, no power mode, blah, blah, blah. No. Stop that, because I did that for like a whole year in college until I was like, just move the light. Just move the light. Yeah, it's okay. So a little bit further away, you can see way more diffused. Yes, it's darker, but we have less shadows, less definition, much softer overall, versus if I take a step closer, now we have those definition and the shadows back and everything. So it is literally that simple. Forwards, backwards. I'm moving my body, but again, if you move the light, move it way back now. Yeah, so you can see super diffused, but also really flat. So this is why it's like, unless it's really powerful, I won't have it this far away. That's maybe about like 3.5 arm lengths away about now. So it's like, I won't have it that way unless it's a really powerful light. And then that's kicking off more light. Yeah. So I'm going to bring it back to my favorite spot, which I think is actually, because I share the studio, of course, with Casey, the wonderful, amazing Casey. And this seems to be like our favorite go-to. This seems to be our favorite spot. Yeah. All right, gonna check in. No questions so far. Pretty good. Okay, all right. Here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna do, well, actually 2 things. One, I wanna show you a couple more modifiers. So I'm gonna bring this closer again. Let's say you're working in a space like this. It is really small. That's kind of cool, actually. I do like that. I do like it that close. Interesting. I'm going to show you what that looks like even up high. But so real quick, you have that. And the only thing with light like this is that it is leaving a lot of shadows over here on like the side of my face and under my chin and everything. If we're doing a more typical like beauty style photo, we use this. It is a piece of foam core. Ooh, yeah. It's like $3 at Walgreens or something, whatever. Yeah. This is my favorite because watch. So super, well, not super direct or anything, but like pretty direct and highlights and shadows and all that. But if we move in, I could hear you guys gasp all the way here. But how much of a difference it makes? Sorry if I'm hitting the microphone. I apologize. It's like right where I always put this. So usually where I put this is like right about here, at about chest height. So if you're doing a portrait of someone, it's bouncing everything up into their face a little bit more nicely. So usually kind of like around this area. But you see that difference. Isn't that absolutely crazy pants? Now you see me, now you don't. Yeah. So think of like bouncing it like a pinball, or like a pool ball. The light needs to feed from where it's coming from and then bounce back to the subject. And it's always going to be at that same angle. So you can see, like, depending on where I move it, a little bit less, a little bit more. If it's closer, it's obviously giving a much bigger, like a much brighter effect, versus further away, it's not giving as much of an effect. Same principles apply. Yeah, isn't that cool? Something that's simple. Now, they do make fancier ones than this, obviously. You can get them on, Amazon, you can get them from KEH. I'll put links in afterwards of ones to get. Those are just reflectors and they're pop-up reflectors, but I'm starting like really, really super simple basics here. So if that means just a piece of white foam core, that's what it is. And that's great. And it can be anything bright that's reflective. Anything that size that's bright and reflective is fantastic for headshots. And then you can even get little clamps for them to put them onto light stands. So if it's just you in the studio and you need an extra set of hands, get the little clamps that go on there as well. Yeah, pretty cool, right? I know. Yay. All right, let me grab some water real quick before I show you this next piece. How are we doing on time? Oh, wow. That went by so fast, you guys. We're already like 45 minutes. We're already, 45 minutes through. That is nuts. Whew. See, I love my job. I can't help it. Okay, so let me see. If you actually have one light, you can use a reflector as a rim light. Yes, exactly. Yeah, Rohan, I love it. Let's try that. So if I have the one light, and when Rohan is saying rim light, we're talking about light that is on the back of my head that helps to define me away from the background more. And so we might need the sun. This light might not be powerful enough to work with using as a rim light. A little bit. Yeah. It'd be tricky to not get it in the picture. But I think I need another person. That's what I really need. I need an adult, always. But what I try to get is that bounce light around my head and my hair, so I have some kind of definition away from the background. I think if I had another person here and they kind of, because also how I'm looking at myself is backwards, it's not mirrored, so it's really messing with my brain right now. Like if I go this way, my other hand goes out. Yeah, anyways. So yeah, like that could work. I think that's like maybe right. Yeah. I think it's easier with two people and a brighter light for sure. Love that. Let me see here. I think the theory is there, hard in reality. Yeah, it's like, as most things in art, that's just a really good quote for art in general. Yeah. So, okay, I've got another light over here. Same kind of light, same. Great video maker standard light. I'm gonna put this modifier on it. This is the one that it comes with. So if you do decide to get a light, this light kit, just get one that maybe comes with a softbox already, but this is the standard thing that it comes with. So I'm going to turn this on. Whoa, ayo, that is way too bright. Way too bright. So I'm going to, first I'm going to make it more orange. And then I'm going to just a smidge. And then hopefully it'll be pointed. Yeah, there that, yes. Okay, you guys see that? Okay, mental note, watch, and then turning that off. Much darker, kind of fading into the background here, versus if I turn it on, just a little, yes. Oh, I love that. Just like the tiniest, it is very low. It is very low. This is obviously much brighter, but just the littlest bit of just a pop of something over there completely changes the dynamic of the photo. Now it's like, if I moved, I'd probably shoot the portrait from like this way, because I'd still want to see eyes. I'd still want to see somewhere in there. So let me actually, can I zoom this in any further? Oh, I think I might have just, no, don't do that. I might have completely goofed that. I'm out of focus. Hold on. Pause. Oh, focusing. Okay, there we go. That should be it, or at least very close. Yeah. So I love that, where it's like just a little bit, because if I go too far this way, yeah, it's giving kind of like a cool effect over here. So just depending on how dramatic we would want the shot, if I were to shoot this way, that could be kind of cool. I'd probably have them lift up their chin a little bit more, because I'm trying to get a catch light in their eye as well. And then if I had them turn this way, it would be more like kind of directly towards this light. But I love this because it's adding just that little extra bit of oomph to get away from the background. I'm still kind of not defined from the background. So let me try with the honeycomb what this looks like. And honestly, it's like what y'all are seeing in this process is my Rolodex of knowledge over the last like 20 years, just kind of spitting through different ways and things that I've done in the past, but eventually you'll build that as well. And this is how it happens. Oh yeah, that's good. Oh, that's cool looking, you guys. I love that. That is fantastic. So this is with that honeycomb grid now on, the two diffusers behind it, little bit of yellow on the side of the white balance, more on that yellowy side. And then the rim light over here, not diffused, direct, low, about half power. That's usually whenever I'm doing a 2-light setup. The big light is at full power, and then this one is about half power or less. Just adding a little bit of extra on the side there. Yeah, whatever that sound effect is for what I'm doing. I think I'm more in focus if I'm like right here. That is very dramatic. So really just between this and with or without the honeycomb is whether you want it to be more dramatic or not. This is like ABC 2020 interview. I escaped a cult kind of I don't know. And then this is more like I am the next WNBA star. Oh God, I wish that would be really cool. It's like just a little bit more friendly if we're going for that kind of cinematic light. That's more kind of standard headshot. But with the honeycomb, definitely more along the lines of those photos I showed you at the beginning with bokeh and that extra bit of drama there. Oh, that's cool. Yeah, because I also have a degree in film, so I always really like more drama light as we go. Yeah, it is a really good color effect, right? Oh, absolutely. Yeah, Jennifer, I'm definitely going to plan a lighting workshop where we do where we kind of go through this in person. So once I get that posted, send it over. I'll link to that. I got to find a free Saturday, which so it might be a little while away, but hopefully sooner than later. But yeah, I'll keep you guys posted on that for sure. So let me there's one last one that I wanted to show y'all, and that is where it's like we have this one over here. I'm gonna try, I have a I have the light set up where I have a gobo arm. I'll show you what that is in a second, where I can put the light right above me. It's another one that I really like, and we'll do something called a clamshell. So this is kind of the standard 3-point or 2-point lighting, sorry. And then there's another one of a clamshell that I really like. Takes a little bit of extra equipment, but I love the effect. I really do. It's very pretty. So I'm going to switch this up a little bit so we can see the whole room. Brilliant. And then gonna turn this one off for right now. I'm gonna turn big light back on. Ugh. And I'm gonna take this off. Oh, you know what? I'm not gonna take it off just yet. I lied, because I'm gonna show you before I even like put that stuff on. So, oh God, this is the C-stand. Yeah, this is C-stand. And this is a gobo arm. Yeah. This is a extended, come on. This is the extended arm piece. Come on, why won't you move? Oh, because that's on that. See, this is why it's like I don't mess with them too much. They can be a bit of a pain. But this will allow me to attach the light to the end of this and then have it up above me at a downward angle. So it's like a crane arm, basically. So I'm going to take this guy off. Come on. Oop, I tightened it. Don't do that. And this is now going to go on here. Oop. I'm just doing the opposite of righty-tighty, lefty-loosey, the thing that we all learned as children. The other thing about this is I have, ooh, I need to really tighten that baby up. Oh, I have it going the wrong way. So here's the craziest thing with these gobo arms, and you'll know it right away like I just did. This is the wrong way, because this is it. The weight comes down this way. It is loosening this part of our gobo arm. So I need to turn it around to where when I actually attach it, if I pull this down, it will actually continuously tighten. So like I said, you'll feel it. You'll know when it starts to go, because you're like, gosh, it will not tighten. All right, this guy on. And I have a sandbag on the other end of that light over there, and I might even add an additional one too. So there we go. Really tighten that bad boy up. I'm going to put it, oh, the light is kind of, ignore how this is existing, please, because I would generally have this away and outside of the frame. But with the time that we have, I don't want to mess with it too much. All right, I'm going to get this really high up. Kind of bring this over. Oh, it really doesn't want to stay. Hold on. So I might just have to move. There we go. Okay, that goes there. Oh, it's really still very low, but you know what? We're just going to roll with it. So, oh. Okay, now I look like I am being interviewed by the FBI for crimes. So it is so, I think it's a couple of things, right? I am so close to this light right now, and I still have the grid on. I still have that grid box on. So instead, what I'm going to do, yeah, we're going to take this off. Take the honeycomb, remove that. That should help. Yeah, there we go. See how much of a difference that makes? Isn't that nuts? So, I mean, that's like kind of what I was saying before. A lot of this is just switching up different things until it's like you get like, oh, that works, or oh, that doesn't work. A lot of it is experimentation, just spending a couple hours in the studio trying to figure out what it looks like. So far, that is pretty cool. I really like this look where it's that above light. This is like that skylight diffuse sort of vibe to it. Now, what makes it clamshell, we're going to use our old friend foam core. So here to that. Oh yeah, that's cool. So that's going to make that clamshell because we have like one above, one below, creating that clamshell. Yes. So without and then with. Yeah. And again, sometimes it might be like this close, depending. I'm trying to figure out where the focus is here. I'm so sorry. Might be like a little bit out of focus here, but that's a huge difference immediately, just adding that back in. And so you have really even lighting from below and from above. Now, for someone like me, I have very deep set eyes. I have very prominent brows. So for me, it's like you might have to actually add another kind of like, you might have to bounce this even more directly in someone's face to see the eyes and get the catch lights that we're going for, those little boop, kind of pockets in the reflections in the eyes. But depending on facial structure could change completely. So, but from here to here, I know. Let's add that rim light. Boom. So that, oh, that's cool. And then this, yeah. See, I think, ooh, I don't know. Maybe this just like not as intense as this, but like just a little, I think I like that. Just a tiny bit of fill in there. Yeah, yeah. I think that's probably the best combo. I'm digging that. That is great. Cool. Awesome. So let me check. How are we doing? Oh, we are almost at time. Oh my God, you guys, that went by so freaking fast. Okay, let me switch over here, kind of regroup a bit. Absolutely. Oh yeah, of course, Jennifer, thanks. Boom. Hi. Okay, and then Zoom. Stop share. There we go. Hi, here I am. Okay, cool. Yeah. So that was awesome. I love doing stuff like this, guys. I really do. Just being able to like go through all these different techniques and breaking things down, because you can have a lighting setup that's like presented. But at the end of the day, it's like, okay, how, why, where, what if I want to do it myself? Hopefully this gives you a little more confidence to be able to take advantage of that and say, oh, now I know. And this would be actually pretty easy for me to set up. It is. It's very, very, very easy, I promise. If you guys have questions about it, please do not hesitate to reach out. I will send the links as a follow-up as well, with the equipment and let's see, links for the equipment. Oh, we just posted a ton of workshops, you guys. I just dropped a ton. We've got a bunch of stuff coming up. So let me go ahead. I'm actually gonna link that in there. We have classes also starting next week as well. I'm teaching Lightroom and Photoshop. So if you want to know more about like that end with editing, we've got Photo 1, Photo 2. So if you want to do more of like the settings breakdown that we did, where I talked about shutter speed, ISO, aperture, what that all means, balancing those out. Photo 1 and Photo 2 cover those. And yeah, cool. I think there was like one more question. Oh yeah, it's like lens compatibility. Recommend to complement and bringing out the best lighting in the studio. The go-to is the 35 millimeter. But I will tell you right now that photographers are totally split. They either love it or they hate it. It's like one or the other. The one I'm using here is a 24 to 70 2.8 made by Sigma. It's a little pricey. That's why a lot of people say just start with the 35. It's a couple $100. Works really well in studio. That's the go-to. I highly recommend. They're like literally just down the hall from us. Aperture renting out a lens from them. And I'll put our discount code in there too, because you guys are amazing. And yeah, so having the rent a lens ahead of time and just see how you like it. Don't go to buy it right away. Test it, get one tested out. See, it's like, yes, no, maybe. You can get a couple of them for the weekend and then decide where to go from there. That's what I always do. I never buy it without testing it out from Aperture Rent. So Yeah. Oh yeah, Lightroom is a Zoom class. Okay, good to know. Yeah, if you guys are interested in that, I'm definitely doing one as an e-learning. So if you want to do it as like a one that is structured out and kind of do it on your own time, I'm gonna have the e-learning version of that coming up in the next week or two, hopefully. And then yeah, and then from there, if we get enough folks, I'll start a wait list. How about that? And I'll send out a wait list, see who's interested in doing Lightroom and Photoshop live online. And if we get enough people, oh yeah, absolutely, hands down, happy to do that. So yeah, too cool. Yeah, if you guys have follow-up questions, feel free to send us an email or message me on the board. And yeah, we'll see you guys next time. Have a good one. Bye.